What do you want to be when you grow up? It's a pretty common question. You might have heard it, you might have even asked it to others. It's asked a lot to youth as well, to kids as young as 4 even, right? It gives them identity. They might say, I want to be a fireman or a police officer or a doctor. It makes that identity. Seems great, right? But is it making it an identity or an expected identity? It's making them and you expect who they are, not giving them the option to change. The question of what do you want to be when you grow up is not a long question. It doesn't give the opportunity for a long answer as well. To answer that question, you're not going to say, oh, I might change jobs, I might move around a bit, and you're not going to say, I don't know. You're going to give an answer to fit in with the social norms of conversation. Even if that answer isn't what you actually want to do, you'll just say an answer to fit in. There's also a test, which isn't really a test, it's more of a personal analysis. It's called the Moresby test. You input information about yourself, about your likes, dislikes, any hobbies, and it tells you what you would be good at. It tells you any first career paths you should do, or even a future career paths. Again, seems great. I have to do no work, and this is telling me what I should do. But again, it's giving yourself that expected identity. It's taking away that human right of autonomy to make those decisions about your own life. A lot of the career options that initially get thought of when you do the Moresby test, or even you just ask the question of what you want to be, a lot of the answers, they have a standard idea of success, of climbing the career ladder, of gaining that promotion, of getting to a higher rank. If you don't get that level of success, what is that? We think of it as failure. But what if the career that you wish to be in, or that you think you wish to be in, doesn't have that career? What do you do then? You failed. You haven't climbed that ladder. You haven't reached success. I had a family friend. They didn't like their job and they came home miserable every day. They were drained and tired. I picked up on that, and so did everyone else. As a young person, when this was happening, I learned this must be how jobs always are. They must always be draining, right? This person comes home every day and they're tired. It's a certainty. It was a definite. It wasn't an occasion. It wasn't they had a bad day. It was certain. It took that person taking the adult initiative to change themselves, to better themselves and the people around them, and change their career, to change their life to a better place. It brought not only themselves, but everyone around them to a better place. And it taught me and other youth around that careers don't always have to be miserable. You don't have to come home drained every single day. It doesn't have to be a chore. We need to ask better questions. The question of what do you want to be when you grow up, that is making the person a what. It's making the person an object. It's also putting together the person and the career. It's saying that the person will be something. It's not letting them be separate. We need to ask new questions. So we need to ask questions like, who do you want to be? Or even better, what would you like to do when you're older? Both of these separate the person and the career, but even better, it gives the chance for change. It lets the person be a person and lets the job be a job. Separate. We all have the right to change, and we all have the right to happiness. We need to teach our youth that life isn't simple. We all know that. Life is challenging. We can think of life as a rope thrown on the ground. There are bends in the rope. Sometimes it even loops back on itself. But the finishing point is always different than the start. You never end up in the same place. You always develop. Everyone needs to develop. We always develop. But we need to teach that from a young age. We need to encourage new ideas, new thought patterns. That if someone young says, I want to be this, we need to encourage it, but not expect it. We all have the right to be happy, and we all need a career. It's just life. We need that income. But at the center of that career and at your life needs to be joy. Thank you.